All right, let's start off today, and we're going to talk about two things, which are specialization and division of labor. Let's start off with specialization. In an economic sense, this is the social phenomenon of individual beings or organizations concentrating on being productive on a specific thing. So you're going to do what you're good at, pretty much. Specialization, again, focusing on a narrow area or a skill or an activity you can develop. So it's a person, or it's even potentially like an organization, taking a look at something big and saying, we're going to, have you do what you're best at. I like to think about this with sports. If I have a guy who's 7'2", 300 pounds, can jump pretty high, has big hands, I got a basketball team, thinking that's probably not my point guard, the guy bringing the ball up. I probably want that guy under the hoop, playing low post, trying to get rebounds, block shots, dunking the ball. That would be a specialization, a center in basketball. If I'm a soccer person, I'm thinking someone like a Messi. If I had a Messi or Cristiano Ronaldo on my team, I want them to specialize what they're good at. I want them producing goals. I'm not going to put them in the keeper position or the goalie position. That just wouldn't make sense. It's not their specialization, what they're good at. They might even be a good goalie, but it's not their specialization. You want to have them do what they are best at. So this is often comes through trial and error, people trying many things, and after a while realizing, you know what, why don't I specialize in what I'm good at? So many of you will find this in college. When you go to college, you'll do your general eds. You'll take 2 years of classes on all kinds of stuff, and then eventually, if you haven't already, you'll find, okay, I found a job, something I want to specialize in and do. Now let's turn that to division of labor. Division of labor is taking it's a complex production process and breaking it up into simpler jobs. So you got a complex production, and you're breaking up into similar and smaller jobs. So what you're doing is you're having everyone kind of like in the line, they're specializing in one task. So division of labor is a little bit different than specialization. Specialization, think the one person doing one job. Division of labor is the whole thing. A soccer team is a division of labor. You got your defensemen, you got your midfielders, you got your forwards, you got your keeper. A basketball team is division of labor. You got your point guard, your shooting guard, your small forward, power forward, center. All doing different things, making the team work. So the whole big thing is division of labor. The small little thing is specialization. So why division of labor? Why do it? It makes things more efficient. It is good with efficiency. The advantages of division of labor were first seen, I'm going to name drop here again, Adam Smith. Adam Smith in his 1776 classic, Wealth of Nations. This is where he coined the phrase, where Smith was looking at a pin factory where they're making little pins. And he saw that it was better to specialize than have one person, how many pins could you make in a day if you had to get the metal and everything? It'd be nearly impossible to make very many pins. But he had a whole factory what he was watching, and he was like, wow, this is like specializing. Everyone's doing a different job, and you can produce more pins. So, division of labor has to do with technical efficiency. That is the time and physical movement saved by workers. No longer having to switch from one operation, getting another set of tools. And also, so that's technical efficiency, basically saving time, saving, resources, money. People don't have to move around as much. And allocational efficiency, which is made possibly by taking advantage of workers' different skills. Someone might be better at something than someone else, so they should do that. If we're going to talk about allocational efficiency in Cristo Rey Jesuit High School, Mr. Wood is more efficient and it's better allocation if he's teaching econ, history, these kind of subjects. If you put me in the calc room, it's going to be trouble. That's not where I'm my best, that's not my specialization. So we're not allocating. We're not distributing very well if we're doing that. So it's better for me to teach here. Let Mr. Hartz teach calculus because he's a genius and he's really good at that stuff. So that makes a lot of sense for Mr. Hartz to do what he specializes in, physics, calculus. Mr. Wood, let him teach econ, history, and those subjects. So specialization, one person, division of labor, think the big picture, the whole process. Just a real couple examples on here. We got jobs. things you might want to consider specializing in seniors. The number one job in 2009 when the economy was pretty bad is engineers. You get a job if you're an engineer. We hire a lot of foreign engineers in this country because we don't have enough. That will get you a job more than likely. After that, nurses, tradesmen, teachers, we're up there pretty high. I'm kind of surprised by that. Depends what specialization. If you're ESL, special ed, probably going to get hired pretty quick. So, looking all the way down here are jobs where you can get a job if you specialize in those fields. Now let's take a look at the question here of specialization, and let's take a look at Tiger Woods. So Tiger Woods is a golfer. Used to be the best golfer in the world. Now it's Rory McIlroy, but I'm still going to use this example. Should Tiger Woods mow his own lawn? Should he? I mean, really? He makes a lot of money as a golfer. Should he mow his own lawn? I just want you to think about that for a while. Or should he just pay someone to mow the lawn? In fact, let's say this. Let's just say this for theory. Let's say Tiger Woods is the world's greatest lawnmower. He can mow the lawn like no one else out there. If he mows your lawn, it's going to look absolutely beautiful. Should he mow his lawn then? Or should he play more golf? Now, there maybe are some arguments that he should take on a variety of tasks, but if it's going to take away from his golf game, should he mow his lawn? Especially, he's a rich guy, he's probably got a pretty big lawn. Or should he still hire it out to someone else? What specialization should he go with? I want you thinking about that specialization, what pays skill development. Let's move on to, along with specialization, we're going to talk about trade and economic interdependence. And we're going to look at we're going to take a look here. We have economic interdependence. We'll explain the picture here real quick. We got 3 states: Nebraska, Florida, and Idaho. So Nebraska has a surplus of wheat. That means they have extra wheat. They grow a whole lot of wheat because that's what you can grow in Nebraska. Good climate, good soil for that. Idaho can grow a whole lot of potatoes, but they can't get oranges in Idaho, and that's what they want. Now in Nebraska, they want potatoes. They can't grow them there for some reason. Maybe it's the temperature, soil, whatever. Then we got Florida over here, and they can grow a ton of oranges. Well, what should they do? Should Florida decide to grow wheat? Should Nebraska, even though it's kind of cold in Nebraska in the wintertime, decide to try to grow oranges, maybe build big, huge greenhouses so they can have their own oranges so they can do it themselves? Should Idaho try to grow oranges? Should they try to grow wheat? What we would say with trade and economic interdependence is these guys should just trade. Nebraska should make a whole bunch of wheat, and they should trade for potatoes and oranges. So these states should just trade together. They should specialize in what they're good at, and then they should trade it. So let's take a look at that and how this works. So they could trade goods. This would be barter. Trading goods can work a lot, but what do we use? Because most of us don't barter today. I don't want to go get a pair of shoes. I don't, go kill a cow and bring it in and say, here's a cow, can I get some shoes? What would I do instead of that? What would I use? Okay, yeah, I would use money. So, without money, we trade, we use barter. Early civilizations, many early civilizations, if we go back in the BC period, early BC, before Rome, Greece, before many of our advanced civilizations, they were using barter. It means I'll give you this, you give me that. You guys have good tools, here's some extra food. We'll trade, and we'll both be a little bit richer. By the way, trade almost always makes all parties richer, is my argument here. And you can disagree with me all you want. So, without trade, there would be barter. Barter is a direct exchange of good. So, money comes in because money gives us a certain value we can agree upon. Our dollars in America used to be backed by gold. You used to be able to get a certain amount of gold for your money. You can't do that anymore. What actually gives our money value today is faith. We actually believe that it's worthwhile. So our money, because we believe it's worthwhile, I can bring in and I can use my money. We recognize that as having value, and I can buy a certain amount of shoes. I can buy a chair. I can buy a desk. I can buy an iPad. I can buy a ticket to Florida. Barter, we had to give a good for another service. There was a problem with bartering in the past before we were using money. To barter with someone, you need to have what's called a coincidence of wants. Meaning, we wouldn't need money if I could go and bring my cow in and trade it for shoes. But maybe you don't want my cow. Then I got to go somewhere else. Or if we have money, I can sell my cow for money, take my money, and go get shoes. No coincidence of wants. That's why money is brought into society. First coined money, we see it early in society. I mean, again, Greece had it, Rome had it, China had money, ancient China, Africa, many different forms of money were used. So this comes into many societies. Money comes in because you can specialize more. You have something of value. Money is purely used to facilitate trade of goods. Money is used to get at resources. That's why it has value. And everyone recognizes its value, and we realize that we can trade that for goods. So, without money, there'd be less trade, there'd be less specialization. So what money allows us to do is buy things. We don't have to just trade. That's how money comes in.